My GF had amnesia and forgot who I was. Hey Reddit, I don't even know how to process what just happened. This feels like something out of a movie, but I swear it's real. I'm just looking for advice or even someone who's been through something similar because I'm at a loss. So, my girlfriend, 25 and I, 27 impan, have been together for about 3 years now. We've had our ups and downs like any couple, but things were good. Really good actually. Last night we went to bed like normal after watching some Netflix. Nothing out of the ordinary. I kissed her goodnight, said, "I love you," and we both fell asleep. But when I woke up this morning, she wasn't in bed. I found her standing in the kitchen, just staring at the fridge like she was lost. I called out to her, "Hey babe, you okay?" She looked at me like I was a complete stranger. At first I thought she was messing with me. She's always had a playful side, so I chuckled and walked up to her. But she backed away like she was scared. That's when it hit me. She wasn't joking. I asked her again if she was okay, and she just stared at me and said, "Who are you?" I was in total shock. I mean, how do you even respond to that? I thought maybe she had a nightmare and was still out of it, so I told her, "It's me, your boyfriend." But she just shook her head and said she had no idea who I was, that she didn't recognize the apartment either. She looked genuinely scared. I didn't know what to do, so I just tried to stay calm. I sat her down on the couch and tried to explain everything. How we met, our relationship, little details about our life together. But it was like none of it registered. She kept asking me why she couldn't remember anything. I called her parents, and they were as freaked out as I was, but no one had any answers. We went to the ER, and after some tests, the doctors told us she had some kind of retrograde amnesia. They couldn't explain why, but they said it might have been triggered by some kind of head injury or trauma, though she hadn't hit her head or been in any accidents recently that I know of. It's been about 12 hours now, and she still doesn't remember me. Not a single thing. I'm basically a stranger in my own home, and it's the weirdest, most heartbreaking thing I've ever experienced. She's here physically, but the person who loved me, who shared all those memories with me, is just gone. She's agreed to stay with me for now because she doesn't really know where else to go, but it's so awkward. I don't want to pressure her to remember, but at the same time, I'm terrified she never will. I feel like I'm grieving for someone who's still alive. So, yeah, that's where I'm at right now. I have no idea what to do. Has anyone been through anything like this before? Does memory loss like this ever come back? How do I even begin to rebuild a relationship when she doesn't remember we were ever in one? Any advice would be appreciated. I'm lost. Update: my GF had amnesia and forgot who I was. Hey everyone. I wanted to thank you all for the overwhelming support and advice I got on my original post. I honestly didn't expect so many people to care or have such thoughtful suggestions. Some of you shared similar experiences, and that really helped me feel less alone in this. I've got a bit of an update for those who have been asking. It's been about a week since everything happened, and things are, well, different, but not as terrifying as they were. My girlfriend, let's call her Sarah, though that's not her real name, still doesn't remember me. Not the old memories anyway. It's like our 3 years together are just erased. But we've been trying to move forward. The first few days were rough. Sarah was really cautious around me, and I could tell she was uncomfortable in the apartment. I didn't push her too hard to remember anything. I followed a lot of your advice, and just tried to make her feel safe and let her rediscover things at her own pace. The weirdest part was trying to be patient with someone who you're so used to being close to. I had to stop myself from holding her hand or kissing her goodbye like I normally would, and honestly that hurt more than I expected. It felt like I had to reset everything. After a few days, we went through some of our old photos together. It was strange. She looked at them like they were pictures of someone else's life. She recognized herself, of course, but there was no emotional connection. Still, seeing us together seemed to help a bit. She told me she could tell I cared about her a lot, even if she didn't remember it, which was reassuring to hear. We've been spending more time together just talking, like we're getting to know each other all over again. In a way, it's like we're dating for the first time. I've been trying to focus on the present and not constantly bring up the past. She asked if I could tell her some of the stories about us. So I've been doing that in bits and pieces. Here's where things get tricky though. Even though she still doesn't remember me, she told me she's starting to feel something. Like, not the memories themselves, but she said she feels comfortable with me, like she trusts me. That was a big deal for both of us. She hasn't said anything about being in love with me again, and honestly, I'm not expecting that anytime soon. But just hearing her say she feels safe with me gave me hope. I've been trying to give her space while also being there for her, which is a weird balance. She's still living with me, and we're taking things day by day. I have no idea if her memory will ever come back, and the doctors are still saying it could go either way. There's no guarantee. I'm trying to mentally prepare myself for the possibility that it never will. I know some of you asked whether I'll stick around if she never remembers, and I've thought a lot about that. The truth is, I'm not going anywhere. It's not just about the past, it's about who she is right now and who we could still be. It's hard as hell, don't get me wrong. But I can't just walk away from her, from us, even if that us is different now. Anyway, that's where we're at for now. We're basically starting over, and it's scary, but also kind of beautiful in its own way. Thanks again for all your support, Reddit. You've helped me through one of the toughest times in my life. I'll update again if anything changes. Fingers crossed. Final update: my GF had amnesia, and forgot who I was. Hey, everyone. I didn't think I'd be writing another update, but here we are. Unfortunately, this isn't the update I was hoping to give. I want to thank all of you again for your support and kind words over the past few weeks, but things have taken a turn, and I don't think there's a happy ending here. After my last update, Sarah and I tried to keep moving forward. She still didn't remember anything, but we were doing our best to rebuild some sort of connection. For a little while, it felt like maybe we were going to make it. Like, even if the old memories never came back, we could start fresh. We had a couple of nice days where things didn't feel as forced. We went out for a walk, grabbed coffee together, and it almost felt like we were dating again. She even laughed at a joke I made, and for a second, it felt like everything was going to be okay. But about a week after that, I noticed a change. Sarah started becoming more distant. She wasn't asking me to tell her stories about our past anymore, and she was spending more time by herself. One night, I found her crying in the bathroom. When I asked what was wrong, she just said she felt overwhelmed, like her brain was trying to force her to remember something she couldn't. It was heartbreaking to see her so upset, and I felt powerless to help. Then, a few days ago, we had a conversation that I've been dreading. She sat me down and said that while she appreciated everything I'd done for her, she just couldn't keep living like this. She told me that, even though she could see how much I cared about her, she didn't feel the same. She didn't feel like she was the person I remembered, like she was living someone else's life. She said that being around me, and being in the apartment where we shared so many memories, was suffocating. She felt like she couldn't move forward while trying to piece together a past that didn't feel like hers. The hardest part was when she told me that she needed space. Not just physically, but emotionally. She said she doesn't know if she'll ever be able to remember me or what we had, and that it wasn't fair to either of us to keep pretending that things could go back to the way they were. She packed a bag and left that same day. She's staying with her parents for now, and I haven't heard from her since. I feel shattered. I've spent the last 3 years of my life with this person, building a future together, and now it's all just gone. I know it's not her fault. I know it's not mine either. But that doesn't make it hurt any less. The person I loved is still out there, but she's not the same, and I've had to come to terms with the fact that she may never be again. I don't know where I go from here. I guess I'll take things one day at a time, just like I've been telling myself for the past few weeks. But, honestly, this is the most painful thing I've ever been through. It feels like grieving someone who's still alive. So, yeah, that's it. I wish I had a happier ending to share, but sometimes life doesn't work out that way. Thank you to everyone who offered advice and support along the way. I appreciated it more than I can say. Take care of yourselves, everyone. Hug your loved ones a little tighter tonight. You never know when things might change.